Hello guys, welcome to this another video. So in this video we will talk about a new compiler, new bundler for JavaScript, which is Rollup. Rollup.js is similar to Webpack, Snowpack, all these module bundlers, and which actually compiles your high level JavaScript code, and also you can compile your SAS files directly into the code, which is understandable by the browser. So you can see this is actually our directory structure. We have actually the source folder where we actually return our SAS file. We have the high level JavaScript code. We are importing Node.js modules. You can see this is actually a Node.js module that we imported, a third-party module. And now if I want to compile this project, we have this rollup.config.js file, which is actually required for actually integrating Rollup inside your application. So I've written this, and now we have three commands. First command, let me show you to actually build our project. So we can simply run this command npm run build. So what this command will do, guys, it will actually compile everything into a single public folder so that you can deploy that folder. It will minify that code. If I execute this command, it will take this high level SAS and JavaScript code and it will actually convert this code to common.js so that the code is understandable by the browser. You see it has created minified bundle.js code, which is of JavaScript, and the bundle.css code. It has compiled the SAS code, which was written inside the style.sas file. So it has compiled this, and if I now open this, you can easily open this by executing npm run start. So it will actually start your application on localhost 5000 port number. So it is actually using the minified code which is generated by Rollup. This is actually the application. We are currently displaying the current time, which is 12:19, which is coming through this third-party module that we installed of Node.js, which is date-fns. You can use any Node.js module. Just I wanted to show you the functionality, how you can compile your application. So we will try to build this application from scratch. I will show you how to integrate this. So now let's get started. So now I will actually make a new folder. And also it comes with its own development server as well. So npm run dev, if you execute this command, it will start a development server and it will directly open this application in the browser. Hot reloading functionality will also be present. So now the application has been started. You can see that. So now it is listening this application. So what this actually does, you can even change the code as well while developing. Let's suppose if you are changing the SAS, let me change the background color, this primary color. If you make this change, if you refresh now, automatically your application will change. You will see that. So now as you make changes inside SAS files, if you add some more JavaScript code, if I remove this alert statement, let's suppose if I put another alert statement came, if I make this change, automatically, if you refresh, you will see the code is automatically compiled. So this is actually happening when we execute npm run dev. So we are actually, this is really useful whenever you are working on your application. So once you are happy, you can deploy this using just run this command npm run build, and it will now compile everything into a minified code. So let's get started, guys, on how to integrate Rollup. I will make a new directory, Rollup project. I will open it inside VS Code. So we'll start it from direct scratch. So the very first thing we need to do, you need to initialize the package.json file. So inside this package.json file, we need to install the Rollup. If you don't know about Rollup, guys, it's a module compiler bundler for JavaScript. If you just write Rollup, the very first link which comes, Rollup.js, it's a famous JavaScript module bundler similar to Webpack, Vite, all these compilers and bundlers which are there for JavaScript. You can just do it for any framework if you're developing for React, Vue. So once you actually do this for the very first time, you can integrate with any front-end technology. So after that, you just need to install inside dev dependency, because dash D simply means that it's a dev dependency. It is not required for production. It is only required when we are developing the project. Rollup is the base library. We need to install it. And then it has various plugins out there. So one by one, I will tell you about them. So first of all, just install the Rollup library. And now if you see in the package.json file, you will see the Rollup is installed in the dev dependencies. Now we need to create a source folder where we will actually write the code. Inside this, we will define a file which is template.html, where we will actually write our HTML code, which is the UI code. And here we can change the title, Rollup example. So it can have any HTML. Similarly, we'll define a folder for holding the style code. So style.sass, we will be creating this file. And similarly, here we will be defining the file for which is main.js, which will contain the JavaScript code, which will get compiled by Rollup. So the structure of the application in the HTML, we will simply be displaying the current time. So right in the HTML, I will just show you a very basic example. So just give it a heading, Rollup starter app. And then we will, in the paragraph, we will simply say the current time is, and then we will have a span tag. You will give it an ID of time now dot dot dot. So this is only the HTML which is required. So now coming back to the Sass file, we will simply write some basic style sheet code. We will declare a variable for primary color. We will initialize it to black and the text color will be white. And then in the body, we will simply say background color is equal to primary color, and paragraph color, we will align it in the center position, and the color of the text will be white, so I will simply say text color. Font size, I will change it to 45 pixel. That's all the basic style. We can write advanced Sass as well. I will just show you how to compile this. So in the main.js file, we will import a third-party module that I already showed you, npm i date fns. So if you search for this module, which basically gives you the current time. So if you search for this module, date fns, I think the name of the package is, let me check. Yeah, date fns. So simply install it. This is not a dev dependency. It is required for this application. So npm i date dash fns. So after you do this, in the main.js file, we will try to actually write the code. So we can simply import this import format from date fns/format. So now to get the current time, we will basically target the span tag which we have given an ID by query selector, which is time now, and we will just be manipulating the inner HTML of it. So export default function update. So what I can do, I can simply write this in a different file. So we will simply create a file right here, current time JS. So I will simply shift this code in this file so that we can import this file in the main file. So we will define this function right here. So what the job of this function is to actually manipulate the inner HTML text content. We will simply use the format function. We will basically get the current time by using this format, hour, minute, and second, like this. This will get the current time, and then we will simply just use the set timeout function to actually call this function after 1 second every time. So it will also show you the current time with 1 second. Again and again we will call this function. So We have now defined this. We are exporting this update function. Now we can include this in our main file by the import statement. So right here in the main.js file, what we can do, we can simply import the update function from the current time module that we declared. We also need to import the style sheet as well. So just import the style sheet, which is style.sass, and we can just add an alert statement, which is app is starting, and then we can simply bind call this function update. That's all. So we are simply calling this function which we defined, which to actually get the current date and time. So this is actually the structure of the application. Now we need to get started with Rollup. So if you want to create bind your application or compile it, the very first step is to actually define this file, rollup config.js. Similar to Webpack, you need to define this config file. You can see the icon is changed by VS Code. This is rollup icon. So inside this file, we do need to install some modules, guys, some plugins which is supported by Rollup. So what I will do is that I will show you one by one the utility of each plugin. The very first plugin, guys, we need to install it as dev dependency @rollup slash plugin common.js. So the sole purpose of this plugin is to actually understand your code, high level code, and convert that into common.js, which is understandable by the browser. So this is a mandatory plugin that you need to actually install. And then the second plugin is Rollup plugin HTML. So if you want to generate HTML files as well automatically, this plugin is required, Rollup plugin HTML. So if through this plugin we will be providing this template HTML that we defined in the source folder, and then Rollup will use it and automatically generate this minified code. So after this plugin, we need the third plugin to actually resolve all the third-party Node.js modules that we are using inside our application. So this required plugin-node resolve. This is a module @rollup plugin-node-resolve. So the sole purpose of using this to actually resolve all the third-party modules that you are using of Node.js inside your application. So install these three plugins. And apart from that, we also need one more plugin. So we also need the plugin for compiling Sass as well. So for compiling Sass into CSS, we have a plugin called as Rollup plugin, post CSS, Rollup plugin, post CSS. We need to install this, and we also need to install Sass as a dev dependency also. So SASS, Sass is also required. And then lastly, guys, if you want to minify the output code, this dependency is required, rollup dash plugin terser. This is actually the plugin if you want to minify the output code. In most cases, we do need to minify the code for performance reasons. So just install these three dependencies. And now if you see, there is a problem here, which is rollup plugin terser. Let me check rollup plugin terser. Okay, we do need to add @symbol. Sorry, this was a problem. Just add a @symbol at the very top. Let me see, guys. I think the version number is creating a problem. So what I will do, I will simply add this version number, which is 7.0.2. So just add this version number in the package.json. Simply do this. So it is saying that rollup found is 4.2.21.2. I think it is creating but one solution it is that you can just say dash dash force. So it will ignore the compatibility issues. So just add dash dash force. So sometimes in newer versions it actually create problems. Okay, we don't need to write at the rate symbol. So just add this dash dash force. Oh, sorry. We basically post CSS we added this n which is not there. So you can see that now it is successfully installed. So just add this dash dash force to actually ignore the compatibility issues. So now we just need to initialize our rollup.config.js file. So the very first thing we will do, we will import all the modules. So we will be importing it rollup common.js, this one node resolve, the resolve function. Similarly, we'll be importing the common.js method from this plugin dash common.js. And for minifying the code, we will be importing Cursor, which will be coming from Rollup plugin Cursor. And then we'll be importing post CSS, which will be coming from plugin post CSS, which is required for compiling Sass. And now for actually generating HTML, we will be importing it from this Rollup plugin slash HTML. And then we also need to import the built-in plugin, which is in Node.js path. And here we'll be checking if you are doing it for production. So process.env variable rollup underscore watch. So based upon whether you are in production mode or not, it will assign this variable. Then we have to write here export default. This returns an object which have various properties which you can control. So here you need to provide the input file, which file you need to compile. So my file is present inside source dash main.js. So this is actually the main JavaScript file that we need to compile, which is a starting point of the application. So here we are providing the path, and then it takes the output. Similarly, this is actually an object. It contains the file property, which is actually this file will be created for the JavaScript, which is public slash bundle.js. And then the format of this file is IIFE, immediately invoke function execution. This is the mode of this. And source map, if you do need to actually generate source map, which is a essential file, you will put true here. And then we have this plugins options. You can provide as many plugins as you want in this array. This is not an object, this is an array. So this is actually an array. So we will one by one provide all these plugins that we installed of Rollup. First of all, we will import the resolve plugin to actually import all the Node.js modules. Then the common.js, which is used to compile your high-level JavaScript code to minified browser understandable code. The third thing, for compiling the Sass file, we will import post CSS, we will call it, and it actually takes some options. First option is extract, and it's need to be set to true. And we do need to minimize the CSS code, so we'll simply set this option, which is minimize, to also true. And then the source map. For the CSS also, we do need to generate the source map, so simply source map is equal to true. And then we have the HTML file. So if you do need to generate the HTML file as well, you will provide an object right here. So first is actually takes the file name. So which file you need to generate? We need to generate in the public folder index.html. You can even change this name. You can choose any name. And now here in this template option, you will provide an object or function which will take the files and the public path as two argument passed. So this will be a callback function. So right inside this function, guys, The third property it also takes is, let me just provide it. So this is actually your object, files public path. So here we need to provide our template, where the template is located. So our template is located in the, we'll use the path.resolve function. So it is present in the source directory slash template.html. So put a comma or semicolon, and then we will basically read the content of this template, whatever is the HTML present. For this, we do need to require the file system module, and directly we will be using this function of file system, which is read file sync. And here you will be passing the template path, and you will be reading it in UTF-8 encoding type. And then we need to basically embed the JavaScript and the Sass code inside this, which is this main.js and the style.sass. So for doing this dynamically, what I will do in this rollup config file, we do need to here say files.js or operator, nothing. So it is now checking these files variable that we got in this function. If any JavaScript file is present, then set it to that. If there is no present, then we set it to empty array. So now we'll be using the map function to loop through each file, JavaScript file which is present. This will be a arrow function. So right here we will simply return this public path slash file name. We are actually using the backtick symbol to actually put dynamic variables right here. So this will be having the public path of the script followed by the file name. And this script tag will be dynamically injected in the HTML. So in the similar manner, we do need to add a new line character by using the join function like this. So in the similar manner, we need to do this for the style sheet as well, the Sass file. So files.css like this. You will simply be embedding this style sheets in the similar way. So we do need have the scripts and the styles variable right here. So after this, again we'll be using the join function to put it in the new line character. So after we do this, we just need to return this template content. We need to replace it by %sign scripts and then %. You can give any variable of your choice. So this is actually the content we will embed. And again we'll be using another replace. This time I can do it in the next line like this. So we have declared two variables right here. First is scripts, %sign scripts and %sign styles. Now we need to go to your template HTML and embed these variables dynamically. So just after the title, what you will do, you will, after this title tag, you can simply embed $style styles, and after the body just embed %script. That's all. So just make this change. And lastly guys, if you want to minify your code, you do need to add this plugin, which is put a comma. This is actually will be checking if the application in the production, then only use this plugin, which is Cursor, which will actually minify your code inside your production. So now this is completed guys, and now we need to actually build your project. Before building it, go to your package.json, and in the script section we need to define each script. So we will be having the development script, build script. So for each script there is a specific command in Rollup that you need to invoke. So the very first command, it will be for the build, which is Rollup-C. So -C stands for compile. So it will compile your overall project and create a public folder. So first of all, let me just build our project. Npm run build. So just see on the left hand side. So it is saying that to load an ES module, set type is equal to module in the package.json or use the MJS extension. Let me see. Mm, so what it is saying that guys, inside your package.json file, you need to put a type parameter. Just set it to module because we are using a ES module because using the import statement. That's why. So it is saying that cannot find package at the rate rollup plugin post CSS. Oh, I think we have made a mistake. At the rate is not present inside this. You can see we need to remove it at the rate. Uh, what I will do guys, I have given the link in the description. You can check my GitHub repo. I think it is creating the version number is creating some kind of problem. So what I will do, I will simply copy all these dependencies with their own respective versions and I will simply paste it. I think it is creating some problem related to the latest version. I will paste it and you can find my GitHub repo in the description of this video. So what I will do, I will simply install these specific versions so to actually avoid any error. So make sure you check out my GitHub repo and if you face similar problems, you can clone the GitHub repo to actually install these versions which are currently working. Because the latest version of Rollup is not supporting the plugins. Now it is installed and you can run your npm run build command. So it is saying that package subpath I think I made some kind of error. So here I will paste rollup config.js file. Let me paste it. So now you can see it is compiling it. It was just a typo mistake in rollup config.js file. So you can check out my GitHub repo, which contains all the correct versions and the code for this application. So you can see it has created on the left hand side the public folder, and now it contains all this index.html, which actually contains the link tag, which actually are embedded dynamically by rollup. This is bundle.js, and it is also minified. You can see the CSS code, SAS code has been compiled and it has been converted to minified CSS and also the minified JavaScript code as well. So in the package.json file, just add a second script for actually building it at a development server. So we will have a development script which will support hot reloading. So we need to define a second script here which will be watching the application if you make any sort of changes. Rollup-c-w. So dash w stands for watch, and when we actually develop basically execute this development script, we need to npm run all. So this will actually run both these scripts simultaneously, parallelly. Start watch, put a comma, and this one will be for starting the application which will be serving this from the public folder. So these are the four scripts. So if you see now, if I execute npm run dev, So it will actually start this application locally, and now if you open localhost 3000, sorry, localhost 5000, this is actually the application. Current time is this. You can make any sort of changes. Let's suppose if I change the background color from SAS, it will get automatically compiled. You can see we have changed the background color. So if you refresh now, the background color will be changed, and current time if you see. So this is actually this application, guys. Once you are done, you can start it. You can build out the application. Again, it will create the bundle.js, and then you can run this application by executing npm run start. So this will now, again, if you refresh now, you can see that. So this was a setup, guys, from scratch using Rollup, how to use this and set up inside VS Code and compile your front-end project. You can use it now with any React.js, Vue.js, any front-end technology. So the GitHub repo is present in the description. You can clone it whenever you are developing any sort of project using Rollup, module bundler or compiler. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please hit that like button, subscribe the channel, and I will be seeing you in the next video.